Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is makeup, skincare and hair care specifically designed for the older face like mine. Today I want to focus on eyebrows. As we get older, it's really common to find that your brows have disappeared. It might be that you plucked them away when you were younger and they didn't grow back properly. You might find that they are just more sparse than they used to be and patchy. Mine are definitely patchier than they used to be. You might find that the ends are not there, depending often on what side you sleep actually, because if you sleep on one side, that side often wears away a little bit more than the other side. You might be suffering from an illness where you have actually lost all your brows and have no hairs there at all. And they might have just changed colour and you might have just a few white hairs, or they might have gone completely white and have faded from their youthful colour. So there might be a myriad of reasons why you haven't got the brows that you maybe had when you were younger. Having really good brows can totally change the way that your eyes and your whole face looks. It can really define the face and create shape to the face, and really important when you wear glasses as well. So today I have done all my makeup except for my eyebrows, and I'm going to show you a few tips, and I'm going to show you a very specific and clever product that Look Fabulous Forever has made to help us with this very problem, and it is called Bring Back Brow Shape. So this is the product. It is a really clever product because it actually enables you to recreate individual hairs. So it is actually a fine brush. Let me show you the actual brush. So you can see it is actually a paintbrush, and it's a liquid and it's a paint, and it is waterproof. It comes in 3 colours, 3 shades. It comes in the shade blonde, grey and brown. So let me just show you if I can. So the top shade is brown, the middle shade is grey, and the bottom shade on my hand is blonde. So I personally tend to use either the brown or the blonde. Probably fine for me, the blonde is slightly more natural, more like my natural colour brows are sort of a fairly mousy blondie brown colour. If you have naturally got grey eyebrows, then the grey looks really good. And often if you're a cooler base colour toned, you might find that the grey one works well. If your eyebrows are still brown and quite dark, then you might find the brown looks good. And if you've got brows similar sort of colour to mine, sort of slightly maybe more of a blondie, lighter brown, maybe going a little bit grey, then you might find that the blonde works for you. So they are really 3 colours. You'll find one that works really well for your own natural colouring. The secret to using this product is also in having this product, and this is called our spoolie brush. It's brush number 6 in the Look Fabulous Forever brush set. And what you can do is you can soften the product and also groom your brows before you actually put it on. So when to use Bring Back Brow Shape? If you have absolutely no eyebrows at all, no hairs at all, or very few hairs, it's often better to do it before you put your actual eye makeup on, your eyeshadow, etc., everything else, so that you can create a framework to work with. If, like me, you've already got brows, but they're maybe just going a little bit patchy or a little bit sparse, then you might prefer to do it afterwards. That's what I tend to do personally. I do my eye makeup, and then depending on how strong I've gone with my eye makeup and the colours I've used, then I know how strong to go with my eyebrows. But if you haven't got any eyebrows, I would do it first. And just to help you decide where to actually do that, if you've got very little brows, if you take your spoolie brush and hold it against the edge of your nose and go upwards, this should be the starting point of your brows. So if they start there, then you need to maybe put a few more in that area. So that's the starting point. So you can put a little dot of the product there. The end point of your brows, if you take again the spoolie brush from the corner end of your nose to the outer corner of your eye and upwards, then again this would be the end point. So I've got probably about nearly 1 centimetre where mine are missing on each side actually. And the arch of your brow, again, that's a slightly personal depending on the shape that you want to create. But in general, if you take the spoolie brush from, again, the same place on your nose and go through the centre of your iris or slightly to the outside of that, sort of centre to the outside, you can find out where the top point, the arch would be, and put a little dot there. So then you've got your 3 points that you can then join up. But some ladies like to have their arch slightly further out, depending on the width of your face, etc. But that will give you just a general idea of the 3 places, there, and just through the centre like that. So let me show you how I use it. Today I am going to use Bring Back Brow in Blonde. So first thing I'm going to do is to groom my brows. So what I tend to do is brush down, then brush upwards, just to try and get any wayward brows to sit in the right way. If you find before you do this that you've got some really long individual brows, you might even want to just give them a tiny little trim with some scissors, just a little bit off the end if they're really long. You might also at some point want to just check in a magnifying mirror that you haven't got a lot underneath. I sometimes find that I have very light little ones underneath, sort of like a fluff, that can make a difference to the way that my eyeshadow looks. So it might be worth even getting those professionally groomed, waxed, threaded, whatever you might want to do, just to check that there is enough room underneath for your eyeshadow. Don't do it from the top. You want to keep that shape correct, but that might be a good thing to do. So grooming them, trimming if you need to, and then bring back brow. So the product, as I said, is a paint, so it's liquid. So first of all, you need to shake it. It's got a little ball bearing in it, so that shakes the product up so it doesn't settle. If you're using the darker brown, I would suggest at this point opening it and just taking a little bit of the excess off on a tissue, so that it's not, because it's quite a strong colour, that one, just so it's not quite as dark. I don't need to do this one with the blonde one. Now, as we get older, we often have slightly shaky hands, and it's quite hard sometimes to navigate with something quite fiddly. So what I would suggest, if that is the case for you, you actually rest, using your little finger, rest your finger onto your face so that you've got some sort of stability. And what I would do then, I tend to start in the middle, but it's totally up to you. I've got a bit of a gap in that middle, so I tend to start here. And I'm just, as you can see, filling in little gaps with a short feathery motion. When I go to this side into the middle, I tend to go slightly upwards because that's the way that the natural hairs grow on my brows. So little short feathery strokes. And when I get to the outer edge, you can even just lay the brush slightly down just to get a really fine tail. You want it to slightly taper. And if you want to lift your brows, you might even want to slightly enhance that highest point, the arch, which will just help to lift the brows even more. So you can even change the shape of your brows using this product. So just little short feathery strokes. And you can see it's very similar to my natural brow colour, this one, so it doesn't look too obvious. If you're using a pencil, it can look like you're using a pencil and it can look a little bit too artificial, but these you can actually really recreate individual hairs with this particular product. So I'm going to do the other one now. I tend to do it like this. I rest my finger just to give me some stability and start on that top section, just filling in. Nice white one there. And then coming into the middle. Eyebrows, we say, you might have heard this term, are sisters, not twins. So you might find that they are not quite the same. That's very normal. It's really just practice. Once you've done it a couple of times, you'll think that actually was incredibly easy. It's just the thought sometimes of using a paint. But once you've done it, you'll see that it's very effective, very easy. And the fact that it's waterproof, it just lasts so well all day. Now, special top secret now is to go back with the spoolie brush. And this is the secret to this product, is to soften it. So what I'm going to do now is just to go over the brows and soften the whole effect using my spoolie brush number 6. So don't panic until this is done. It never looks right until you've softened it with the brush. So hopefully you can see that I've now got a little bit more definition in my brows. If you think, oh, you've done it too much, just take a cotton bud and just slightly soften it even more. If you want to add even more, what I sometimes say is take the wedge brush, and you can just even add a tiny bit of eyeshadow over the top if you want to build it up, but not with the bring back brow. So you could just put a little bit on and then take the taupe eyeshadow and go over your brows with that. Or if you've used the grey and you want it to be a little bit darker, go over it with the wedge brush number 8 and charcoal, for example, the charcoal eyeshadow, because they're matte shadows. So that's another thing you can do to enhance your brows, as well as using bring back brow. Obviously bring back brow is brilliant because it's waterproof, whereas if you just use a shadow, then you might find it moves a little bit in the day. So I hope that has helped you and helped you choose the colour there are 3 to choose from. If you have used bring back brow in the past and it has helped you, then we would love to hear from you. Comments below. If you've got any tips yourself on how you've used it and how you've helped to steady your hand, if you find you've got a shaky hand with it, then again, we would really like to hear from you. It's really helpful for other people to hear comments about a product, particularly if it's a slightly unusual product that maybe people are a bit worried about trying. But do give it a go, and I hope that it helps you to define your brows and bring them back to you, as the name suggests. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.